Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of Camouflage of the World. I'm Mike B, and today we're going to be taking a look at one that's extremely popular with a lot of military fanboys and is still in use currently today in 2018 by United States Marines and Navy personnel like corpsmen and stuff that are attached to the Marines directly doing ground operations. So, Marpat was a concept that was kind of developed, well, more or less so developed by the Canadians in 1996 with CAD pattern, Canadian Disruptive Pattern. Different color scheme, but same exact idea and almost the same pattern if you look at it. However, we're not going to get into that whole debate and the whole kind of controversy that surrounds that. We're going to focus today on Marpat. So this is a four-colored woodland variant. So you've got, let me see if I can find a spot that's got all four colors. Yep. So you've got this green, the brown, which is like the majority of it, and we'll get to that in a second, the black and the khaki colors that make up this pattern. It's all pixelated and it's fairly cool. Another thing you'll notice if you've been living under a rock for the past almost 20 years is they've got these in the pattern, like kind of in green for United States Marine Corps. This is the official stuff. I don't think any of the knockoff brands are allowed to do that. It's sort of a copyright thing for the Marine Corps. So I got this from a buddy of mine a few years ago, and I'm pretty happy to have it in the collection. I'll probably get a set eventually to field test, but I don't like wearing this stuff around since it is a current uniform and I have not earned the Eagle Globe and Anchor, so I don't feel good wearing this stuff. But I will wear it for a test and to have it in my collection, but I like this because it was worn by an actual Marine, so this is why it's going to remain in my collection. So 2001, the Marines came out with this, and they were the only branch at that point to kind of start phasing out the M83 Woodland and the three-color Desert. There's a desert variation of this too, but I don't have any yet, so I'll be getting that as well. So basically, yeah, the idea for this was that it was a revolutionary new design that was going to bring us into the 21st century. Well, okay, it kind of did, and it works okay. But that all that did was just lead to a kind of a ripple effect. The Army wanted digital patterns then, and then all of a sudden the Navy wants digital pattern stuff, and now the Air Force wants digital pattern stuff. So it kind of started this shitnami tidal wave of like everybody wanted this new fandangled looking stuff, and they really didn't put the kind of research and effort into it. They tried to make it all one encompassing uniform, whereas the Marines knew, oddly enough, the Marines were smart about something. I'm just kidding, all you jarheads out there. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But oh, by the way, happy belated birthday a couple days ago. It's November 13th when I'm making this, so I did wish a bunch of my friends happy birthday. So happy birthday to you guys too, all my Jarhead viewers. So anyway, they got something right in the fact that they went with a color scheme that they understood was going to require to have two variants. They actually had three variants, but they never adopted the urban one. So they've got this, and they knew that they'd have to issue a desert pattern because it wasn't going to be all-encompassing. This is very smart on the part of the Marine Corps, not having just one uniform for everything. I don't think they were really looking at multicam because I really think they wanted to kind of get this digital fad kind of going and adopt it so they could look different and everything. Now let's get down to the construction of the uniform itself. What I like about the Marpat stuff, Marpat means Marine pattern if I didn't mention that already, is the fact that they do have slant pockets, right? And they've got the pockets on the arm because they understood that with body armor, it's very hard to get pockets there. And honest to God, like a personal opinion, I think the Army and the Marines did this so guys would stop standing around with their hands in those pockets down there, because I certainly would have if they would have had pockets down there. But anyway, I digress. The sleeves can be rolled up on these. I'm not going to have these rolled up because I don't do it the correct way. The Marines are extremely stingy about that, and I don't do it right, and I'm not going to risk that. So they're just unrolled. Anyway, so you get the pockets right there, and it's made out of, if you can see this up close, it's made out of a twill material. It's kind of heavier, but that means that it's actually going to last longer. Ripstop, for all you guys that have never worn it in like a harsh kind of setting, ripstop doesn't work. It rips. Like all it does is make the rip go in one direction for a very long time. This stuff rips or tears, and you can sew it back up, and it's good. Twill is a great material. Ripstop is stupid. I don't know why the Army loves that stuff, but apparently they still do because it's all ripstop. It's heavier, it doesn't breathe. This stuff feels like it can breathe. Again, slightly, well, it's actually not even that much heavier. It's just a different weave, so that's probably why it feels heavier. It's just a more well-made uniform. The tags are freaking awesome. The real ones will have this tag on it as well as the NSN tag behind this pocket on the inside, the Army, or the military kind of government tag. But I love that. They're high quality. I really think the uniforms are probably the best U.S. uniforms that we have currently. That's including OCP, like not just the pattern, but the actual like the camouflage pattern, but the actual pattern of the cut of the uniform. I like what the Marines have done. I also like the integrated embroidered Eagle Globe and Anchor. That's a really cool touch. I really like that. So yeah, overall, Marpat is probably one of my favorites. It's a contender with OCP because OCP is a very good pattern, but I just hate the cut of the uniform and I hate Velcro. Even though the only Velcro on these is on the breast pockets. Yeah, there's two little pieces, which doesn't really matter. These are buttons, which I love. They stuck with that. Anyway, again, I've never worn this uniform like in a combat setting, so I don't know how it would fare, but I've heard no complaints from any of my jarhead friends that have been downrange and stuff as far as the comfort and kind of performance of this uniform. When I was there, they were wearing kind of the combat shirts with their pants, but some of them were still wearing these blouses underneath their body armor and stuff, so they must not have been that bad. Anyway, that's just my opinion on it from what I've seen, and pretty much this is going to be the most widely replicated. After this came out, pretty much every country everywhere was like, oh, we need digital stuff, and they ripped this design off. I'm glad the Marines are still using it. I hope they use it for a while longer so they don't waste all that money like the Army did on a shitty pattern and then just change it later anyway. I'm glad they stuck with this since, it's almost been 20 years. Pretty cool uniform. Maybe someday all the branches can wear their own. Or I'm sorry, not wear their own, but like wear the same uniform like they did for a long time. But again, that's just a personal opinion of mine. If they have to be different, they should all be like of this quality. Gripes I have about the actual pattern itself and the color scheme. Too brown for a lot of wooded areas. Like when it's really wooded and there's a lot of like deciduous forest, and you've got a lot of greens floating around. That was one thing that I think CAD-PAT got a lot better is they didn't utilize brown as much. Brown is not totally natural unless you're standing kind of by a tree trunk or laying down among a bunch of deadfall. So that's the one thing that I don't think they got right about Marpat is they use too much brown. I think the brown should be about as involved as the black is on here, and I think the black should be as involved as the khaki, and the khaki should remain the same. And I think the green should be the dominant color if it's going to be woodland. That being said, it'll probably work good in other wooded environments, and as far as being a woodland pattern that's supposed to encompass a bunch of different environments that are wooded, I'd give it a thumbs up. I really like this pattern. Again, I'll try to get a set, and I'll do a field test on it, but that's going to be a while. So I figured I'd just make the Camouflage of the World video. It's I'm actually glad that the Marines came out with this pattern. It looks cool. It really looks neat, and they've been wearing it for a while. So good job, Marine Corps. You did something right. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, or even if you're not new and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit the like button on this video and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I post new videos. Also become a supporter on Patreon. Click the link in the description to see all the benefits you get for being a patron. Supporting the channel really helps, and you can read all about it there. A little blurb, and yeah, that would be great. Become a supporter, subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of Camouflage of the World.